Imagine preparing your whole life for an exam, only to receive the results and find out they're a scam. Well, that is exactly what's happening with medical students in India today. A few days ago, the results for the NEET medical exams were released, but here's what happened. 67 people received a full score, which is 720 on 720. And you must be thinking, okay, that's a good thing, right? Well, in the past few years, only 1 to 4 students have topped the exam out of the 2 million plus students that take it every year. Out of those 67 students, around 6 to 7 came from the exact same test center, which is a little bit fishy. And there were several students who received a score of 718 or 719, which actually is not possible. Because the way the test works is you get 4 points for every correct answer and -1 for every wrong answer. If you were to get one question wrong, you'd get the -4 minus the negative mark, so the highest score you could have is 715. And if you were to skip a question where you're not receiving a negative penalty, the highest score you can still receive is 716. Naturally, this was concerning, so students investigated and signed a petition for a re-exam. When questioned, the NTC, which is the body administrating this exam, gave 2 reasons for these discrepancies. Number 1, they said in some centers, some students lost out on time, therefore they were awarded grace marks. Of the 67 toppers, 44 of them got a question wrong, but because that wrong question's answer was printed in a previous version of the NCERT textbook, which is the textbook they recommend you study from, they were given that question by grace. The issue, new textbooks were printed for this very reason. And of course, not everybody can afford new textbooks. There needs to be standardization for a test that is meant to be a standardized measure that determines a child's future. Allegedly, the exam was also leaked in parts of Bihar, giving some students an unfair advantage. After the exam, students also receive an OMR, which is basically the question paper and the answer key, and they can calculate their optimal mark recognition score. But when the actual results came out, there were huge discrepancies between their OMR score and their actual score. The syllabus was changed halfway throughout the year. The dates that the results came out were 10 days before they said they would. Initially, it was supposed to be June 14th. They said June 4th. Which was also election day. Scam or not aside, the mental stress and load of an exam like this on students is immense, and suicides are increasing year by year. And what sounds like these minute differences in marks can determine somebody's future. In an industry that's already so competitive with such few seats, such little infrastructure, there are way more candidates than hospitals. So this begs the question, what does this say about our educational system? And what would make it better? And for those of you who either took the exam or know people who are preparing, what are you feeling right now? Is it fair to let one mark determine your future? If so, how do we put checks and balances so that something like this never happens again? Genuinely curious to hear your thoughts. And if you have any additional information that's come up, please share in the comments below for people curious about this.